Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. May peace be upon us all. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. I would like to share that we are lucky today, this morning. In this forum, we have two presidents. One is Pak Ardan, Honorable Pak Ardan Adi Pradana, President of IAI. Kita beri tepuk tangan. Yang kedua di Honorable Jan Buko, President of International Federation of Accountants. Honorable Ibu Desri Damayanti, Senior Deputy Governor, dan Pak Riki Gozali. Kemudian hadir juga di sini Honorable Profesor Murmahadi Surya Jaya Negara, Chair of AIE, and then Honorable Mr. Ahsanul Haq, Member of Audit Board of Republik Indonesia, Ibu Sofia Watimena, Chair of Audit Board of OJK. Hadir juga di sini Pak Muhammad Nasir, Profesor, kolega Mendiknas, ya Pak ya. Kemudian Pak Yonan, Honorable Pak Yonan. Pak Yonan ini muda terus, lingkungannya muda Pak. Kemudian anggota Dewan Komisioner LPS Pak Dwi Korja Purba, kemudian juga ada senior saya di sini, Excellency Pak Eri Riana Harja Pamekas, kemudian Pak Zaki Baridwan, and all members and compartment of EIE region, and all EIE member across Indonesia, as team partners from global firm, industry, academia, and business community, participant of EIA and IFAC Connect Asia Pacific 2025, also Honorable Deputy Secretaries of Menko, and also ada Pak Susi and Pak Haryo. Ladies and gentlemen and distinguished other speakers. It is a great honor for me to address this gathering of distinguished EIA members and delegates of IFAC. I extend warm welcome to our international colleague from International Federation Accountant and from across the Pacific region. I think I would like to extend my congratulations on the 68th anniversary of Ikatan Akuntan Indonesia, and may EIA continue to thrive and continue to sustainable economic growth. And I was intrigued by Pak Ahsanul Haq. He asked me earlier whether EIE can be challenged by artificial intelligence. So I think EIE will be on the crossroad from Ikatan Akuntan Indonesia to the Institute of Artificial Intelligence. So before we begin, allow me to express my deepest condolence for the floods and landslide that have affected our family in Aceh, West Sumatra, and North Sumatra. I was in Halim Terminal yesterday, and we check the cargo that been sent to the location. It was 127 ton plus 40 ton yesterday. So actually, we would like the participation of all the institution to put the solidarity and help our family in north of Aceh. I think there is new things that never happened before, that the typhoon has come to the tropical area. So it's never happened before. So I think this is another challenge that we have to mitigate in the futures. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the year 2025 has been a whirlwind. We live in a world defined by geopolitical shift, climate challenge, and rapid technological disruption. We see this year that most economic having turbulence by a headwind, among others, tariff shock in the second quarter, and then the war between in Middle East, including between Israel and Iran, and the next things that just happening few weeks ago is the challenge between China and Japan, the cancellation of tourism from China to Japan. And there is many things happening in the headwind. But we are quite lucky that Indonesia restart the engine in the third quarter. And we believe that the fourth quarter come up with the recovery in sight. So if we see that to achieve the golden vision to become top 5 global economy by 2045, it is the responsibility of accounting profession that indispensable. So I think the role as accountant, auditors, financial professor is to serve professional, has to serve the architect of this indispensable trust. When an investor reads the financial statement or policymaker review the national budget, they are entirely on your professionalism and objectivity. Your adherence to international standards is the silent guarantee that data is accurate, comparable, and reliable. Indonesia economic trends toward 2026 are positive. We will see that from the Purchase Managing Index is already on the top 53.0, I think the highest in the last, in this year. And the Consumer Confidence Index reached 121.2 in October. And if we check in the Mandiri Spending Index has reached 312.8 in the mid of November. And the return of motorcycle sales growth at 8.4%. And the EV, electric vehicle sales has increased to 18%. So I think this is showing that the market is coming back. Consumer confidence is high. And with this, we see that for next year, instead of the headwind, I think next year we will have the tailwind. Most of risk has been priced in our economic growth in rupiah this year. So in line with the state budget, the economic growth in 2026, I guess the baseline is based on the government budget, 5.4, and upside risk is more imminent than the downside risk. And thank you to Budesri and the Bank Indonesia that this year has been discount 125 basis point, 125 basis point. So the Ministry of Finance also make a monetary policy to put 200 trillion in the bank. So the impact will be next year. To support the realization of food, energy, and economic sovereignty toward resilient self-reliance, the state budget will focus on 8 key priorities with more than 2,564 trillion or 154 billion budget allocated. So this is the priority of Bapak Presiden in the area of food security, energy security, free nutritional meals around 335 trillion. Up to date is 44 million tray has been disbursed, has been given to the student on daily basis. 44 millions, it means Indonesia provide food for 8 Singapore, if you can imagine. That's a huge. And the target will be on April. Next year, April or May, become the full student. 80 million of students will be given free nutritional meal. And then educational program, 757.8 trillion. The health program, the village cooperative, holistic defense and acceleration for investment, as well as the global trade. Indonesia also, diplomatically, we are quite aggressive this year. The President himself negotiated the tariff that is given from 22% to 19%. That's to protect 5 million of workers and predicted increase GDP by 0.5%. And as we speak, we are still negotiating with the US, and hopefully we can come into the agreement, the reciprocal tariff agreement with the US. And then Indonesia also has signed the Indonesia-Canada Comprehensive Economic Partnership, in which 90% of Indonesian export and 90% of Canada, they will enjoy the zero tariff. Indonesia-Europe also has been signed, so that in 2027, we expect that the implementation of Indonesia-EU SEPA. And at the moment, the EU SEPA is drafting the translation of the agreement to the 24 language. So that hopefully by 27 will be effective. Indonesia has been talking with the parliament members in EU from the far right to the far left. So most of the members are supporting the agreement with Indonesia. And also there is good news that EU deforestation, also under the leadership of Indonesia, that was postponed additional 1 year to 2027. And then on the CPTPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, on the last meeting on November, Indonesia will process the membership in 2026, next year. And then Indonesia also in the process of OECD accession, since most countries are in Europe, 27 out of 37. And then also we got the support from Japan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, US, Canada. So I think we got support almost 34 out of 37 members. So we are quite positive that in 2027, hopefully we can be fully endorsed by the EU to become a full members of OECDs. Among others, one of the significant achievement is on the financial inclusion. Indonesia is almost 96% financial inclusion, and financial literacy is about 66%. And by OECD standard, the literacy rate is on OECD countries is 62%. So we are way above the OECD standard for financial inclusion. And then on the green economy, Indonesia planned to build the green supergrid, about 70,000 kilometers. This is part of the program during the ASEAN meeting that we revived the ASEAN power grid and ASEAN gas pipeline. And Indonesia also has carbon capture and storage potential of 600 gigaton. It means that the whole Australia carbon can be absorbed in Indonesia, and even from Japan, Korea, Taiwan. But we have to be careful how to do the trans-border trade of carbon. So the investment like from Japan, BP and ExxonMobil have committed to invest about 15 billion US dollars on this project. And CCS and CCUS for gas is almost the same like enhanced oil recovery. So they can use also for enhanced gas recovery. So that's what the BP would like to do in Tangguh. And during Indonesia leadership, we launched the Just Energy Transition Partnership. So the commitment of $20 billion is still going strong. And during the Africa Selatan, South Africa G20, this commitment was also committed. And also Indonesia is building the waste to energy power plant. And there will be a few projects as a prototype will be built that Danantara has launched the Patriot Bond, especially for this waste to energy power plant. And under ASEAN Zero Emission Community, Japan committed $500 million also for waste to energy project in Legok Nangka, as well as for the geothermal project in West Sumatra. On the next economic engine is the digital economy. We know that the growth from the sectors that including the downstreaming is the growth is linear. So we need the extra growth from the digital sectors. Indonesia digital economics is valued around 90 billion and projected to surge around 360 billion in 2030. But this one is business as usual. Indonesia with ASEAN is launched the Digital Economic Framework Agreement, in which under study, if all the ASEAN countries implement the Digital Economic Framework Agreement, the economy of digital in 2030 is around 2 trillion. And Indonesia is 40% of it. It means that the opportunity of 800 billion economics going forward, then that needs 12 million of digital talents. So I think the education is very important for AI talent training or factory, and then to support with the internship. The president has launched the internship for 100,000 fresh graduate, 1 year graduate in this year. And hopefully most of the students can also apply for digital sectors. I was in Telkom yesterday with almost 600 students doing the internship in Telkom for 6 months. And the salary is paid by the government for 6 months. So this is an incentive to bridge between the university fresh graduate and the workforces. So hopefully this program can be extended to next year. And hopefully this is one of the way to force the young student to do the networking. And in the digital sectors, among others, the low-hanging fruit, beside in the logistic for ASEAN National Single Window, is ASEAN Payment System with Nexus. And for the people or small medium enterprise is using the QR payment. And Indonesia QR payment has reached 57 million of user, and the merchant is about 39 million. So I think this is almost 3 times than credit card use by the whole people or population. That's why the growth of Greece is quite high, and other countries like Japan, Korea, Saudi and UAE are also in the target to use the CRIS payment. The CRIS payment, it means that we can use rupiah in most of the countries to reduce dependency or needs of other currency. And then on the investment side, we have been from January, February is 1,434 trillion, or 14% up from previous years. And then we also see that the micro and small medium enterprise has reached 4 million, is 61% of national GDP. And the government provide the special loan for them. Almost the budget is 240 trillion has been used. And this is available to support the farmers, industrial entrepreneurs, and individuals who are seeking the housing as well. The government is committed to broadening access to over 3.5 million debtors of micro and small medium enterprise. And then to enhance the skill and work experience, beside the said internship, the government also prepare the gig economies, in which I think next year we will launch to 15 cities that we would like to develop the startup for AI. The study by Google said that Indonesia, Malaysia, and Philippines are almost in the similar position, about 25 to 30 AI startup. But Singapore is far ahead of others. They have 400 startup of AI. So I think AI is needed, especially in the sector that Indonesia has a lot of data already, in the health sectors, in which the Bill Gates Foundation has support the research for TB vaccine. And I think with the BPJS or Indonesia Insurance on Health, they also have data that is good for do the data mining in the healthcare sectors. We can develop these healthcare sectors. We have strong data on consumer as well. We have strong data on the e-commerce. So I think how to do hybrid, Pak. Hybrid between Ikatan Akuntan Indonesia and Institute Artificial Intelligence. So I think that's the challenge, how the AI become a hybrid, because the one among other professions that can be quote unquote challenged or substituted by AI, definitely making bookkeeping, balance sheet, P&L, AI can do it. So you have to change for another challenge. Luckily, Minister of Finance asks every report to be signed by person, not by digital signature. So I think it will help EIA as well. So I think I would like to urge EIA in partnership with AFEC to continue championing the highest standard professional competence and ethical conduct. And once again, congratulations on conducting this event. Thank you. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.